Hi, it's Tacticus, and today we're going to have a look at the newest legendary event, the Farsight event coming to us on December 28th. It's been a while since I had the chance to explore a new legendary event, so I'm pretty hyped. I go into each of the 3 tracks and discuss the enemies you'll meet so you can strategize better, the requirements you'll have to meet for points, and what combinations are possible. I'll do this for full rosters and rosters without legendary characters, as while being very available now, they are still a long grind away for many players. Then I'll delve into the optimal order to get the most points with your personal roster, and in the end try to give some general advice on which characters to build up. A quick reminder: legendary events task you to progress 3 tracks of battles, each focusing on a certain enemy faction and forbidding you to use one of the Grand Alliances: Imperium, Chaos and Xenos. Each legendary event runs a total of 3 times. Over the 1 week they'll run, you'll get 68 tokens, 7 of which you get for watching an ad each day. Fighting battles gives you points based on criteria you meet, as well as for just killing enemies and winning the battle. Those points are transferred to event currency along a progression track. With enough of that currency, you can buy chests that contain 25 event shards. 400 being enough to secure the new legendary character. To maximize points, we'll often try to combine as many requirements as possible. There's always 10 missions that give you some more event currency. Factoring that in, you'll need 12,500 points to unlock the new character in the first event, with later events becoming progressively easier. By your roster development and by the mission currency shifting the goalposts slightly in your favor. You can progress to the next battle if you have defeated a number of enemies equal to the total number of enemies in that fight, even if you do it over multiple runs. Points are awarded per requirement met. For winning the battle, one each per enemy defeated, up to the total of enemies in the battle, and points equal to the high score of defeated enemies you killed in that battle. If I speak of kill points going forward, this combines the highest possible high score with the points for killing all enemies. Oh, and progress is safe between the events, so no easy retreading of the easier fights. When it's released, you'll find my Farsight video here. Farsight seems to be a powerful character in his own right, tying together ranged teams especially. While not exceeding any of the conventional guild raid teams now, he could definitely become relevant in the future to bring together a ranged guild raid team. The alpha track sees you face the Adeptus Mechanicus, forbidding you from using Imperial characters yourself. Completing a fight gives 34 points, and the kill points range between 58 and 106. The Yetmeg are scary enemies, as we could witness in their campaign event, but this time we have more fighters available to face them. There are 3 specific Yetmeg NPCs here, all of which share the trait Mechanical, meaning they can be repaired instead of healed. Of course, one of the units, the Tech Priest Engineer, takes advantage of that, being able to repair them. They appear from Battle 4 on. Every time an adjacent mechanical unit gets killed, they collect 1 stack of Machine Vengeance. Whenever they repair someone, that unit gets all levels of Machine Vengeance, each increasing the damage by 5%. This can quickly add up, and as they keep their allies healthy, it can pay to defeat the Engineers first. From the first battle on, you'll face the basic infantry of the Yetmeg, the Skitarii. They add a hex of contamination after moving, which isn't as big of a problem, as in most legendary events you won't be on the offense anyways, once big numbers of enemies start to appear. But of course you should try not to move your units on those hexes, as they reduce your armor by 30%. The only immune units are fighters of the Death Guard and mechanical units. Skitari's shooting attacks are also toxic, meaning not only they have an excellent PS ratio, but also a 25% chance to contaminate the hexes they hit. From Battle 2 on, Electro Priests will get added, which are resilient, meaning if you don't overkill them, they'll fall back to 1 health. As this happens regularly, they combine well with the Engineers. When hitting you in melee, they'll also damage an adjacent fighter for half damage, similar to psychic attacks, and suppress both. This slows you down and hurts your damage, only Terminators being immune. Sadly, this isn't a Mechanicus only track really. From Battle 6 on you'll fight mortar teams, and from 13 on also basic guardsmen of high quality. As both of those have battle fatigue, they'll often flee if you can kill adjacent enemies, so try to focus on that. In tracks with mortar teams, try to rush to the spawn points. If they start their turns next to you, at least they deal less damage, and in the best case they aren't able to shoot at all. Their shells have a high damage, an astonishing range of 5, as well as dealing damage to half the hexes around their target and suppressing all of those hexes. This makes them incredibly dangerous. In Battle 12 and 13, you'll also meet the following characters as enemies. All of them are quite formidable, but especially Ro and Tan need to be dispatched as soon as possible, as the number of summons and the high damage of Ro will melt your team quite fast otherwise. In conclusion, kill characters and Engineers first. From Battle 6 on, try to rush the enemy's spawn points so the mortar teams can't live up to their fullest. I always try to maximize points by going for the highest combinations first and then progressively go down the list when I can't push a team any further. This has served me well in the past, but of course others have different strategies. I lay out all the requirements in the grid and then see how many characters are left and how many points those give out each. I mark down every summoner, healer and mechanic that you're able to field, as you want to keep your fighters healthy one of 2 ways. Either try to heal them after the fact, for which having a few tanks works well, or I try to summon helpers, which draw the attention and keep my fighters safe. The summoning route is often more fun to me, as it's more dynamic and better for rushing spawn points, but in later tracks where those summons die off easily, turtling in the defensive, preferably high ground position around a healer, can push you some tracks further. DB Preacher lined out here how especially in higher track numbers you'll probably need multiple healers to keep each other healthy, so having multiple available is always a plus. Whenever you run out of good combinations, there's also 2 possibilities. Go further, collecting kill points, or fill out the lower point requirements of battles you have already beaten. The latter is the safer option, letting you do battles you'll always almost win. But this goes at the expense of speed. You'll use tokens in later events for that in any case. In the long run, you're not losing anything, but going the more riskier route could be an unlock or promotion an event earlier. That risky route is: look at the points for the next requirement on the list and look at the kill points for the next battle in the track you haven't beaten. You'll get the bonus for winning the fight, as well as possibly 2 times the number of enemies in the battle. If that's more points than just doing requirements, this is the faster path. You will have more character combinations available, can take multiple healers, can take all the tanks and summoners or strongest fighters you have. This often gets you 1 or 2 battles further. Keep in mind though, while you would have gone back for the lower point single requirements in any case at some point, fighting for kill points doesn't tick off any requirements, meaning if you ever become mighty enough to do those for the higher battles, you'll effectively have lost a token, as you could now have done it in 1 swoop. This is the price of getting more points earlier. Whenever we can, we will use the dream combinations of Rivers and Aleph Null, Rodbone and Malados or Angrax, Actus and Tangida, or Isabella with Burkhard or Bellator. In Alpha, you'll have to meet the requirements of no Terminator, Power, minimum 5 hits, Flame and Eviscerate. Here's the number of characters you'll be able to deploy. I highlighted all combinations possible here. Oh well, this table shows the unreleased Leviscus and Farsight already counted in, so I'll quickly remove them. Two things hit the eye immediately. There's only two combinations that give you any amount of flexibility in your character choice, and three combinations are outright impossible. Power only combines with no Termi and min 5 hits, both only having 5 characters available. Flame and Eviscerate give the most points, but don't combine at all, which makes high points numbers difficult to reach. Let's see what combinations you can do, beginning with the highest points. When fighting battles, I always start with those and try to push them as far as possible, going to the next best one when I've reached the end of my capacities, trying to maximize the points I can get. Minimum 5 hits, no Termi and Power actually combine for the only 3-way combination in this track, and with the newly improved Folk, Morgan Ra, Onshi and Lucius has at least some decent characters. None are very durable, only Onshi can heal once per game, but I'd rather use his ability to let Folk clear a path a second time in the round. Lucius can be resurrected and damage enemies doing so. So in either case, throw him forward. This is not a turtle build. The second best combination is no Termi with Eviscerate, and at 9 characters, you've got some possibilities. No healers hurts this build, but some decently bulky Chaos characters and Gulgurt summons will get you a few battles ahead. No Termi and Flame is icky at only 5 characters, but Revas is an excellent legendary event character, and Apraxas summons can be a mighty tool. I'm not sure a lot of people will do minimum 5 hits Eviscerate, as it doesn't combine with any of the earlier combinations. Minimum 5 hits Flame though with Folk, Toth and Revas might only be 3 characters, but can fill out 2 requirements that no Termi Eviscerate left open. No Termi Power, while being lower, features Rotbone and 2 Chaos characters, and can eventually get you a few battles. Later on, Termi 5 hits has the Revas and Aleph combination, which will carry you many battles if those are leveled accordingly. Power alone features Rotbone and Maladus. No Termi and 5 hits, of course both have Revas and Aleph, should they ever be needed anymore, as you will have fulfilled them with the combinations. Minimum 5 hits can also give you Rotbone with plenty of different Chaos characters if your Revas is too weak. If you don't have any legendary characters, the 3-way combination falls away, as does minimum 5 hits Eviscerate, which doesn't hurt as badly. Just comparing the combinations table shows that of the 7 combinations available before, you only have 4 left. This hurts, but the dream teams are still available. You will have to push higher in the tracks to secure the same points. Better scares me. You will fight the Tau, which can be very annoying opponents. Not allowing Xenos leaves you 78 characters, more than Alpha at least. There's 40 completion points and between 60 to 116 kill points. In the beginning you'll mostly encounter Crude. Vicious melee fighters, but their low pierce lets them down. They'll engage you fast with their rapid assault for +1 move and more damage until they attack the first time, and shooting them is hard, as they get hit with 1 hit less, or even fewer when in high grass, with Infiltrate also not triggering Overwatch. They aren't that scary, but they form an effective shield for the high-range Tau standing behind them. Shield drones are flying damage sponges. They and the sniper drones appearing from Battle 3 on will absorb hits against adjacent Tau units with a chance of 50%. That makes attacking fighters next to them unreliable, but especially with low hit attacks it might still be worth a shot to remove the more dangerous fighters. With sniper drones and their high damage and range, they warrant attacking them on their own. Also in level 3 you'll face the first fire warriors. Their pierce is also quite low, but they have range 3 and Overwatch, as well as suppressing your fighters, making it harder to break through the Crude, and the damage really adds up over time. They and the stealth battlesuits from Battle 6 on have close combat weakness, reducing their damage if starting the turn next to you. Those battlesuits have a decent number of hits, but also quite low PS. If they haven't moved, they can teleport once per battle against enemies with the marker light. Those are supplied by them themselves with their forward observer's ability, dealing out a marker light in range 3 and halving damage against them for a round. They are exactly as hard to shoot as the Groot and can maneuver well as flyers. In Battle 12, 13, 15 and 16 you'll face Tau heroes, many of which can supply marker lights, making their fellow Tau's attacks more dangerous. Now for this track the strategy will often be to break through the wall of Groot and shield drones encircling you, trying to kill the more dangerous Tau or at least give them their combat weakness debuff. Terminators that can't be slowed are strong here. With their range of 3, fire warriors and sniper drones make turtling really hard, as especially vulnerable healers can be sniped quite easily and they can just stand back and not engage with your turtle. As soon as the immediate enemies are defeated, those setups will need to start moving forwards. The restrictions here are all Militarum, Bolter, Resilient, Piercing and max 2 hits. Especially Militarum is a little mean, as it doesn't combine well with anything but max 2 hits, in which case you only have 3 characters left. There's only 5 possible combinations of requirements, none of which cover 3 of them. Without legendaries, there's only 3 possible combinations, one of which goes from 5 to 3 characters. This notably removes Piercing Resilient, which is the combination for the most points, but only as Karyan, Drajan and Abaddon. All of them can take a punch and throw one at that, but apart from Trajan healing once per game, they will eventually be brought down. At least it combines with Militarum max 2 hits, which is the 3rd best combination points-wise, but having a battle with Creed, Sybil and Yorick is rough. And also not possible without legendaries, so this whole row is missing for less developed rosters. At least from there on, everything is similar. Bolter Resilient is the 2nd best combination with Lucian, Tyrid, Yarick, Trajan and Abaddon. Multiple characters that can attack multiple times around, as well as a summoner. This is okay. From then on, maximum 2 hits Resilient has at least some tenacious characters, and once again Yarick, who will have a linchpin role in this track. Bolter maximum 2 hits equally can survive some punishment, but doesn't have a lot of points. Pierce at 105 points has Incisos as the first instance we can use a healer. Rodbone and Maladus are possible in Resilient only, Burkhard, Bellator, Isabella can be done in the Bolter track, and Tan and Actus combine well for max 2 hits. Not only are the enemies annoying, you also have very slim pickings when trying for combinations. A lack of summoners and healers in this track will make it extremely punishing. Gamma sees you face off against the orcs without being able to use chaos and the orcs themselves. There is still 78 characters available technically, and the completion bonus is only 17 points, with the higher number of enemies pushing the points into the 66 to 124 kill points. I before stated that I don't like a single faction being phased out and that the Tyranids didn't hurt as much. But orcs hurt. This is quite mean. You'll face enemies most players know well, but I'll still quickly discuss them. Every enemy but large squigs and stormboys has battle fatigue, so it can pay to kill enemies with a lot of adjacent foes. Orc boys can hit you with their stick bombs, punishing you for bunching up. Cross are diminutive. They don't have any armor, but will reduce incoming hits by 1. This of course hurts high hit characters less and 1 hit characters not at all. If they are at full health, they can multiply, making it important to at least hurt them a bit. Grot tanks come in battle tree and get damaged less by hits of 30% pierce ratio or lower and can shoot 3 hexes, making them the enemy of Isabella turtles. Large squigs only have 3 hits of physical, but against low armor they deal considerable damage. If they are hurt, they bounce around, dealing damage and disrupting your positioning, which can be really annoying. Shooting them is, if possible, the safer option. Battle 6 adds Storm Boys, flying orcs that come in with deep strike and can immediately hit you. They've got a chance to disappear when moving too far or when coming in, but especially in higher levels and against low armor, they are really dangerous. Level 11 and 12 have some orc heroes. Try to dislodge big numbers of enemies by abusing their battle fatigue. Vulnerable healers and turtles will have a hard time if you can't remove the tanks fast. Don't leave fighters with weak defenses at the borders of your formation, as they can be picked up by Storm Boys easily. You will need to meet the requirements of no physical, blast, ranged, maximum one hit and flying. This only prevents you from doing two combinations, as blast is so rare it is hard to combine with anything but ranged. Even without legendaries this is the same, although you'll lose some fighters. 3 combinations going under the 5 fighters you'd need for a full team, putting you on the back foot. The combinations you can have just don't really combine well with each other. Rivers and Actus work decently with each other and can survive some punishment in the ranged, flying, no physical combinations. It's only 4 characters until you unlock Farsight though, and only 3 without Shadow Sun, which isn't a big loss. Flying and maximum one hit has the same points but is far more difficult without a healer, although the high number of summons for Mataneo and the Farsight can carry you a few battles. Be sure to kill the tanks whenever you can, as they can kill the Ripper Swarms more easily. Another 3-way combination is found in ranged, max one hit and no physical, and ranged blast no physical. Ranged just combines very well. With no physical flying, we meet the little brother of ranged, no physical flying. But at only 45 points less and 12 characters available, it will carry you far. You can even get Revas, Aleph and Actus to push into the higher echelons. In Blast, no physical, we meet Isaac and Holland. Isaac is kind of the better dark brother to Yarick. Getting his active high can be very worthwhile to get bodies on the field, and Holland can keep your other fighters healthy and make Isaac more scary. As one of the few Blast characters, improving him is worth it. Ranged max one hit gets Tan and Vitruvius in one team. Having Vitruvius is quite helpful in this track. Other than Blast, every single requirement has at least one healer-tank combination, which helps out in the later rounds. While doing those nice graphics here, I stumbled about something. Did you notice it? Like here in Alpha. This battle here gives 180 points, while this combination only gives 170. Both ways to do it would take 3 tokens total. For 1 token, the upper one makes more sense, but depending on how far you are able to climb, you might have to retread upon battles you already started. So if you have to go back, you'll have made more points for your tokens by choosing the second best option first. This happens in multiple tracks. In total, you'll need the same tokens of course, and most of us can't climb a lot in the third event anyways. I just wanted to make you aware that under very special circumstances, it might make sense to go for 2 lower combinations first, as they are of course easier and bring you more points if you spend 2 tokens on that one battle. For the following table for the orders of battles, I did not feature that in though. I wanted most points as early as possible and needed a logical way to order things, so I ordered every battle by points first and by number of characters available second, although again that might slightly vary with your personal roster. On screen you can see the order of points I will go for. I'll supply you with a printout sheet closer to the event, where you can cross off combinations that have reached the end of their lifespan. This helps me personally to remember the next day where to use my tokens. Just start at the top, and whenever that combination feels like you can't go any further, go for the next one. If you lack legendary characters, this table here applies. although a lot of players will have at least one or two of them, in which case I'd go with the full table and just cross out what I can't do. If you want to fulfill the missions in order, of course you'll need to be a bit more flexible with which track you choose, but that won't delay you in the long run. For mission 2 you need Alpha, 3 needs Beta, 4 is Orcs, and after come some usability missions, which always leave you 2 tracks to choose, but can easily be done in other modes too. If you found this video useful so far, please consider using my referral code BAD60edu for 100 Blackstone for you and various rewards for me. You can further support me by subscribing to my channel and sharing this video. Let's continue with whom you should build up. Well, there's of course a number of characters that could be recommended for this event, but let's keep this short. The dream teams are really good here, with Maladus and Rodborn potentially carrying the higher levels in Alpha and Beta, while Aleph, Revas and Actus are pretty good in Gamma. Isaac and Holland are an intriguing combination in Gamma, where they can mop up the leftover restrictions after flying and ranged have done their work, with Blast no physical quite well. Similarly, Yarick seems to be in a lot of teams in Beta, and with Summoning and Resilient he isn't half bad, especially as he at least shares Bolter with Isabella, a requirement that often comes up. Abaddon is also a great character in legendary events now, especially with his relic, and can slot in a lot of teams here. And is really useful to boot, with his Terminator trait making him immune to the huge amount of suppression. Lastly, Turret surprised me by coming up pretty often, and her ability to hit multiple times around and the possible combination with Isabella and Yarick make her intriguing too. Now, why does this event seem so hard? Actually, Alpha and Gamma have some nice combinations for high enough points. There is no combinations that are worth upwards of 200 points. Alpha and especially Gamma suffer from quite a lack of combinations though, as a lot of requirements don't have a lot of overlap. One thing people value in legendary event combinations is the ability to do a whole level in 2 tokens. This is not possible in this event at all, with the best combinations covering 4 out of 5 restrictions in 2 tokens. Healers are available, but often only in the lower points. If you have the usual teams set up, you're prepared pretty well from the onset, with only a few crucial characters to add. The enemy types though will be pretty annoying. Especially Beta is hard to do, with the effective combination of Groot and Shield drones in the front rows, bolstered by debuffing Fire Warriors in the second and third row, adding damage quickly by getting that many fighters into range. Alpha similarly can be annoying, with all the healing and resilient fighters. Maladus with the Demon Flesh Plate will be a godsend here. Gamma. At least the combat fatigue works in our favor, as can the Storm Boys. Then again, the Squigs can really screw you up, and all of that is a lot of RNG to consider. If a run narrowly doesn't work, it could work later. A little frustrating, but keep it in mind. Try to find out whether you were too weak or just had bad luck. At least there's only one level with Storm Boys in round 1, which is level 10. One a well-developed roster can survive. In all other levels, you have time to get yourself into position. So, will you shoot for Farsight? Which character will you develop to prepare? Let me know in the comments. I have some more content for you if you like this video. Until the next one, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.